Hey guys, I hope you're well. Before we even start this series, it occurred to me, oh my gosh, I should probably introduce myself, the one who's going to be walking you all through this journey of learning about the climate and clean energy space. So, yeah, that makes sense. So, my name is Sonali. It's wonderful to meet you. And I have been working in what we're calling this climate and clean energy space, I'd say for 10 years 10 years now. I've had too many takes, so I just want to set ground rules in order to help myself along this journey with you all in showing up. I'm just going to show up how I'm going to show up, no matter what I'm wearing, no matter how I look. So I hope I can also meet you all where you are at and just doing it, not overthinking. That's the only way I'm gonna get through. But anyways, I just wanted to share that, it's important for you all to know some of my background before maybe building that credibility. But nonetheless, yeah, I'm Sonali, and my personal passion and mission has always been, especially in the past 5 years or 3 years, maybe 3 years, and coming to, has been wanting to help strengthen the connection between climate and culture. And I'm going to be also reading my notes too, because sometimes I like to go left, but just to keep me on track. I believe that there's a need to strengthen this connection between climate and culture for our communities in order to do the work of getting more of us into this climate, sustainability, clean energy space. We have to make this space more relatable and meet ourselves where we're at, because we are this space. And it's going to be imperative for the future that we continue to remind ourselves that we've always been in this space. Only just now it's just become a whole acknowledged thing in market and business opportunity. But yeah, so I'm originally from Georgia. I'm actually speaking to you currently from Uganda because right now my work gets to take me all over the world, specifically from Uganda, Georgia, Boston is my main. Sometimes other places, but yeah, I went to Brandeis University. I was set out and leaving Georgia. I grew up in what I call a country suburban around cows, chickens, and goats. Oh my. Right outside my neighborhood were farms and stuff. So I grew up being very deeply connected to the environment because that was my everyday. And that really shaped not only my understanding, but my personal career. So by the time I graduated high school, I was a bit of a weirdo in knowing this is what I wanted to do, which was became working in corporate sustainability. Originally, it was marine biology. My mom was really supportive in putting me in different camps and activities. I learned how to sail. I learned how to dive. I learned how to, do really cool scientific stuff with fish and da-da-da-da. But I ultimately decided I didn't want to go into that because simply at the time, I didn't see enough representation. I just But I still knew that I was going to be in this climate and environmental space. I was very much a Animal Planet girl, Big Cat Diary, The Extreme, Blue Planet, all for kicks and giggles. So, by 16, I personally knew that, hey, sustainability is going to be the future. And I knew then, in 2016, that businesses at a certain point were going to have to make that transition into becoming more sustainable, not just for the sake of the planet, but for the sake of their finances. And ultimately also like the consumer, right? Us as a consumer, we become more sustainably focused and eco-minded. So by the time I was ready to graduate high school, I knew that one, I ain't going to school in no Georgia. I'm getting out of Georgia. And second, I knew that I wanted to help businesses in this transition and helping them become more sustainable through their operations, whatever that meant at the time. So I went to undergrad at Brandeis University. I majored in environmental studies and business. Um, Funny enough, along that journey, I realized within my environmental major, like, oh my gosh, they're only talking about butterflies, polar bears, and bees, but they're not talking about anything about people. And it's like, how can you not talk about people when we're talking about the environment? Because us as people have always been the natural caretakers, historically, biblically, this, that, and the third, to this day. So how can you not talk about the people when we talk about the environment? And along with that too, I would say in 2020, I was sophomore going into my junior year when we were all sent home. I found my second passion, which is in people work. And that specifically was because of everything that was happening in the Black communities, as we all know. And that later led me to mobilize a bunch of students of color, faculty, alumni, in creating an anti-racist framework plan for the university. And that did well. And they gave me a buy one, get one free deal with that. So I later got my MBA. So I went straight through. So I got my MBA in entrepreneurship and innovation at the Brandeis Business School. And it was at that time where I was studying full time and also was working, right? So throughout my career, I did stuff working with, some private environmental companies and helping them come up with equity wage framework plans for no equity wage yeah equity wage frameworks for companies that they consulted, like Coca-Cola, and helping them think through how they were sourcing their goods, materials equitably. I later did work helping municipalities across New England in creating climate equity action plans. And later, pretty much, I found myself at North America's largest incubator, running an accelerator program, first of its kind, for Black and Brown startups in climate tech. So I did stuff too in helping nonprofits create DEI framework plans for clean energy companies. And yeah, so I got to experience a whole lot of the climate sustainability space and really the burgeoning clean energy space. And given that, a lot of this is happening in Massachusetts is a big leader in clean energy. So while at the time I was running this accelerator program, I was working with founders who were creating in new technologies, from solar panels that you could roll up like yoga mats, to folks that were creating sneakers out of plant waste, to people who were reimagining offshore wind turbines, what that looked like, to people who were creating wallets and jewelry out of cellulose. Like, was deeply introduced into the innovation space. And I later discovered, oh my gosh, like, there is a deep connection between how innovation touches what we call workforce development in terms of where the jobs live. So you need innovation that creates the jobs, right? So when the technology is ready to be implemented, that's where you have a whole lot of jobs that exist to help implement the technology, help run that technology on a day-to-day. And furthermore, from workforce development, there's what this exists called community. That's where we have our impact. And I want to get into that a little bit more, of course, throughout this course, and mapping out how what I call the climate economy, innovation, workforce development, and community all connect together. But prior to, of course, talking about that all, uh, I'll say from out my experience, something was made very clear that our communities are still largely disconnected from from all of these opportunities that are being created, not because of the interest isn't there, but because the pathways for our community simply aren't visible or relatable enough to feel like it's right in front of us. So, I quit my job uh from working at the incubator and started my own thing right before I graduated from my MBA. For It's called We Free Trees. And I basically have a creative climate hub on that mission to strengthen that connection between climate and culture. And I most recently founded a nonprofit, officially 501c3, okay, that's focused on climate education and clean energy workforce readiness, and really helping our reconnect our communities, youth, those who've been furthermore overlooked and unrepresented, back to the environment, the climate space through really culturally rooted, creative capacity building programs. So my work over the past several years has been in helping businesses, MWBEs, minority, women owned uh, businesses, develop themselves, pivot into the climate, clean energy space, and furthermore, blossom strategically. I've also helped put together, run different programs for folks that also have like minded understanding of the need to focus in on our communities of color and making this space more known, for youth, for adults. And we're going to talk about just so many different pathways in that. Um, but yeah, that's just a little bit about me. And in the next episode, I want to spend time framing why this space is so important. So thanks for listening. We'll talk soon.